Welcome to the annual Maguire College Scholars Luncheon. 4 years ago, we started this program with 5 scholars in 4 schools. Today, we are joined by 163 scholars representing 21 colleges. This year alone, we are spending almost $2 million in scholarships to college, and those awards are well deserved. My name is Amy Holdsman, and I'm proud to serve as the Executive Director of the Maguire Foundation. We are gathered here this afternoon to celebrate with you, to introduce you to our network of Maguire scholars, to introduce you to our founders, to share with you our core values, and to share a personal story of this journey called life. I am honored to represent the Foundation this afternoon as I am joined by the founders of the Maguire Foundation, Mr. and Mrs. James Maguire, the president of Philadelphia University, Dr. Stephen Spinelli, my colleague and partner at the Maguire Foundation, Megan Maguire Nicoletti, Reverend Bill Golderer of Broad Street Ministry, and this afternoon's keynote speaker, Patrick Maguire McKeon. A special thank you to Stephen Spinelli and his team at Philadelphia University for his graciousness in hosting today's luncheon. At this point, I have the distinctive honor of turning over the program to the co-founder of the Maguire Foundation, a man who, along with his wife of 57 years, Franny, has made all of this possible. Mr. James J. Maguire's life story exemplifies preparation, passion, integrity, discipline, responsibility, and balance. These are the core values that drive Mr. Maguire and the work of the Maguire Foundation. A graduate of the St. Joseph's University class of 1958, Mr. Maguire is a respected businessman, a successful entrepreneur, a proud veteran of the Korean War, a devoted husband, a father of 9, and a grandfather of 23. Please join me in welcoming Mr. James J. Maguire.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. A special welcome to our 183 scholarship students. Plus, the presidents and administrators of those universities. A warm welcome also to our students from Gallaudet University that are seated here. Where are you? Hand for those people. And that's located in Washington, D.C., and also the Pennsylvania School for the Deaf here in Philadelphia. Where are they? Round of applause. I am happy to tell you that in the fall of 2015, I have worked with Gallaudet University in the risk management and insurance field, which will prepare these deaf students for a career in the insurance industry. Thank you to St. Joseph's University for working with me and with Gallaudet University to start this program. Thank you all for coming today to this meeting. Okay so far? I have been working very hard. And congratulations to our students for maintaining your very high academic performance. All of our students, both hearing and deaf, are expected to maintain a 3.0 GPA or higher, plus perform regular community service. It was my community service while at St. Joseph's University in 1958. Yes, 1958. Excuse me. That connected me to the deaf community. Which has created a lasting bond. Our foundation is also committed to facilitating a pathway to college for our high school scholarship students. I want to thank Philadelphia University for hosting us here today. And now, I am honored now to introduce the president of Philadelphia University, Dr. Stephen Spinelli.
It's my pleasure to welcome Jim and Fran Maguire, and Megan, Susie Maguire, grandson Patrick McKeon. Oh, I got it right, I think. Director Amy Holdsman, all the students, the families, friends, and my fellow presidents, and there are a gaggle of presidents here today. Father Donahue from Villanova, Don Generals of CCP, the wide variety of schools that are supported by the Maguire Foundation. Sister McFadden from Immaculata, Father Gillespie from St. Joe's, Sharon Hirsch from Rosemont, James Harris from Widener, Father McShane from Fordham. Am I going fast enough? Yeah. Kathleen Owens from Gwinnett Mercy, Don Taylor from Cabrini, Sister Carol from Chestnut Hill, Drexel's John Fry, and LaSalle's interim president, James Gallagher. Welcome to Philadelphia University. Before my career in academia, I was an entrepreneur. I started a business to escape poverty. That simple proposition proved to be wholly and woefully inadequate. Great mentors and teachers taught me that a deep belief in creating value for customers was far more important than creating wealth for myself. Jim Maguire's, you're going to hear a lot about Jim Maguire's 6 steps for success. I think they're a perfect example of what I'm trying to explain. Be passionate and positive. Show up every day. Stay physically and mentally fit. Give full measure of your efforts. That's my favorite, because only you know if you're doing that. Balance your life with family, business, fitness, and spirituality. Surround yourself with winners. None of those steps speak to making money. All of those steps enriched Mr. Maguire and his stakeholders. Now, over the years, I've developed 5 rules. Brush your teeth. Shine your shoes. Be on time. Prepare beyond the obvious, and believe in something more important than yourself. Now, honestly, when I was preparing these remarks, I told my wife I was feeling a little inadequate. Mr. Maguire is a far better entrepreneur than I ever was. And he has 6 steps. I only have 5. She paused. She said, "Yeah, and he's better looking too." I now have a 6th rule. Don't whine to Carol. I keep learning from the Maguires, though. It's not just about the 6 rules, it's about what they did. Not satisfied with creating a world-class business, Mr. Maguire said, "Can I scale this philosophy beyond the business and beyond my time as its entrepreneur?" The Maguire Foundation was born, and the Maguire Scholars Program launched. The Maguire family continues to create value through the pursuit of values. To the Maguire Scholars, I don't think the Maguire family gave you anything. I think they invested in the proposition that you were of the quality and character to do something special in your communities. Education is the lever, but you have to take personal responsibility for the outcomes. We look forward to hearing from you today, but we are eager and anticipate in great measure the ways in which you will improve the human condition far into the future. God bless the Maguire family, their extended family of scholars. It's my honor to introduce Megan Maguire Nicoletti.
This is pretty amazing, just standing up here looking at all of you. It's kind of emotional for us, especially because we talk about all of you and we have all these great plans for all of you, but to see you here all in one room is just really quite impressive. We're here to celebrate your awesomeness, actually. When I think about you students, I think about the opportunity that you have and the chance that you have to really, really reach your goals and fulfill your dreams. So thank you for coming. Thank you for making this important, and thank you for partnering with us. I have the opportunity today to introduce someone who's very special to me. I'm honored to introduce our distinguished guest. We have tremendous respect for him, someone who instills hope in so many people's lives. Reverend Bill Golderer from Broad Street Ministry is a beacon of light who inspires us to be better, to give more, and to love stronger. Leading his initiative at Broad Street Ministry, he is in charge of doing things that no one in this room, I think, could imagine at this scale, serving 55,000 meals to nearly 5,000 individuals, distributed 92,000 pieces of mail, delivered 8,000 personal care bags and about 17,000 articles of clothing. And not only do they deliver the clothing, they actually mend the clothing on site. Furthermore, they helped 1,000 guests receive medical and psychiatric care from on-site nurses. Broad Street Ministry changes lives by making people feel valued, respected, and appreciated. Their mission is not exclusively about feeding homeless, but more about practicing the core values of community, spiritual development, hospitality, creativity, and civic engagement. It is truly an honor for me to introduce Reverend Bill Golderer.
This is quite the room. I believe that I'm praying last or praying first. Megan? Now? Last. Good, okay. You'll know, I think you need to know something. I have not been married as long as the Maguires, but I've been married for 12 years. I better get that right. And after 12 years, I can take direction. So I just want you to know I'm coachable. I know how to do things like that. Listen, thank you very much. My name's Bill Golderer. It is my privilege to be with you all today, and it is something that is very humbling to look out on all of you who have accomplished so much and have made a significant contribution to making this world a better place. But what's also exciting is we have yet to see what will be in the lives of these young people, these extraordinary young people who are so talented and so dedicated and full of potential. My remarks today will be primarily addressed to all of you young people who are on the threshold of something really spectacular. But before I do that, there is a technical matter I need to cover first. At your tables, someone is near a bunch of index cards. That person is going to show leadership by grabbing those index cards and passing them to your neighbors, and then someone else is going to grab the pens. I don't feel like I need to give this room with this much talent any more direction than that, but go ahead and do that. This is a thrilling room for me to be in, as I mentioned. And one of the things that I am coming to you with is a little bit of sorrow, because I only wish there was more time that I would have to know you better. I would like to know, and I mean this, I would like to know your dreams. And I'd also like to know more about the struggles you've had to endure to achieve this moment in your life. And maybe there will be time for that. Here comes the commercial. Come see me. All those meals, all those services, all of those things that need to take place in the lives of people who are vulnerable and need someone to care. Come visit me across from the Kimmel Center. We're the most open church in Philadelphia, 7 days a week. Come see me. Volunteer, sit down, let's have a cup of coffee. But even if you don't, even if we never have the chance to have this conversation, where I know you better and I know your struggles and I don't know your dreams as well as I'd like to, I want to say something to you that I hope will not freak you out too much. The collar's a bit of a giveaway. You see, I want you to know that no matter whatever happens from here, if we ever find a chance to meet again or we don't, I'm going to pray for you. You see, that matters to me. Many of you here probably don't think that it matters, or you're not sure about all that hocus pocus stuff, but let me tell you a little bit. I don't have the rules for success that the Maguires have, or the distinguished president of the university does, but I will tell you a little bit of the secret sauce in my life, which is since I was a young person, no matter what was going on in my life, whether I was full of hope or full of doubt, whether I was feeling particularly creative or I was being very critical of myself or other people, whether I was particularly awesome fun to be around, or at other points in my life, I was horrible to be around. No matter what was going on with me, there have always been a small group of people who are deeply devoted to accompanying me in my life. None of them ever rose to fame. None of them ever appeared on the cover of any magazine. None of them took home a Grammy at all. And I don't think any of them have any followers on Twitter. But they are the most important people in my life. They're important because they told me no matter what, they would pray for me, even when I doubted if that mattered. These are ferociously faithful people. They are audacious in their vision for my life, and I believe that whether or not I believe that I could achieve something good, whether I could live as a man who lived for other people, whether I was capable, whether I had the strength or not, these people prayed that I would have the strength and the good sense to pursue things that were enduring, that I would never give up and never give in to lesser or just plain boring ways to live your life, that I would never stop pursuing the things that matter most. So they prayed for me, and they still do. And I want you to know, whether we know each other well or not, I will pray for you. More on that later. Two things that you can expect from what comes next out of my mouth. I'm going to tell you an uncomfortable truth about life, actually about your life, and I'm going to invite you to take a risk. First, the uncomfortable truth. Like I just said, I spent a lot of time saying it. I don't know you well. But I do want to tell you something that I do know about you that you probably wished I didn't know. What I know about you is not always easy to recognize or to detect, but it is there. Some of you are better at hiding this truth than others. Some of you are better at suppressing it or pretending as though it isn't actually there. But I'm as sure as I am that each one of you is wearing a left shoe today. Check. Are you all wearing a left shoe? I know this thing about you. And what is it I know? That each one of you in this room is afraid. I don't know exactly what it is you're afraid of, but I know you're afraid. How do I know you're afraid? Because I'm afraid too. In fact, most of high school, all throughout college, throughout every new stage of my life, fear has been my companion. And the secret that nobody ever bothered to tell me, but I want to tell you now, is that I have not yet met a person who did not have a powerful fear inside them. The people I most admire in this world, captains of industry, people who are making a difference in the lives of the most vulnerable in our society, the artists, the dreamers, the doers, the makers, the achievers, the people who make the city of Philadelphia vibrant and great. The people, some of whom I'm able to call friends, all of them have this thing in common. Not only are they afraid, but they are honest about their fears. Many of them have asked me to help them to face their fear and maybe even to overcome that fear. And my closest friends have helped me to face my own fear and to overcome my own fears. On the shadow side of this reality about fear, I don't just know world beaters. I know some of the most violent, some of the most damaged and damaging people in this city, some of the most destructive, some of the most selfish, and some of the most shallow people I have ever encountered. I know at the core of who they are they are also afraid. But rather than the successful people, they either chose not to face that fear, acknowledge that fear, but rather gave in to that fear. But failing to face your fear doesn't always result in these horrific outcomes, these catastrophes. But it can result in something that is equally a bummer to me when I come up against it. Failing to face your fears as a daily part of life can often result in something worse than destruction. It can result in settling for something less. You can by not facing your fear, by not rising to acknowledge your fear, you can become interested in pursuing comfort in lesser things and in lesser pursuits. Because facing fear is exhausting and it's unsettling. That's why they call it fear. It's alarming. But my friends, it's necessary if you're going to live a life that matters, not just to yourself, but to other people. Changing gears here. Do you like your nose? Seriously. Do you like your nose? I'm a call and response preacher. Don't just sit there. I'll think you're Presbyterian like me. Do you like your nose? How about your eyebrows? Eyebrows? My favorite thing are knuckles. How do you feel about your knuckles? Check them out. I bet you haven't thought about your knuckles today. I've been thinking about knuckles all day today, getting ready to be with you. Here's what I know about your knuckles. That they're yours. They're going to be with you your whole life. So you better learn how to live with them. And maybe even you might want to learn how to love your knuckles. Love thy knuckles. That's in the Bible somewhere. And if you can't love your knuckles, you might want to ask your neighbor to help you to learn, not just to live with your knuckles, but to learn how to love them. So I'm going to ask you to do something now. Would you turn to your neighbor and say, I'm willing to help you to learn how to love your knuckles if you're willing to help me learn to love mine. Do that now. I'm telling you to do this because, like I said, your knuckles are going to be with you your whole life. And if you can't learn how to live with them, maybe even try to love them. Love yourself into loving your knuckles. Because like your knuckles, here's the other reality of this world. Your fears are going to be with you your whole life long. I thought that one day they would go away. The same fears that I had in high school and in college and after college, they followed me my whole life, and they are the singular thing that stands between me and doing something bold and something that matters. Every time I think about doing something new, the same questions that I had when I was in elementary school, stepping onto the bus for the first time, I asked the same questions. Am I smart enough? Am I good enough? Am I talented enough? Will the right people accept me? Am I a fraud? Am I a fake? Is this going to work? Will I ever see the other side of this struggle? What will my family think? What will my friends think? Why are these people opposing me? Why are they undermining me? Will they prevail, or will I? I don't raise the topic of fear to frighten you, but to tell you an important truth about fear. What distinguishes people in this life, in my experience, is not whether or not people are afraid. We are all afraid. But whether or not your fear is more powerful than your desires to be a man or a woman for others. Because to be a man or a woman for others will be costly. I carry two things in my wallet besides cash. Two quotes. Death is not the biggest fear that we have. Our biggest fear is taking the risk to be alive. To risk to be alive and to express who we really are. And the one on the flip side is each of us must confront our own fears, must come face to face with them, and how we handle our fears will determine where we go with the rest of our lives, whether we experience adventure or allow our fear to limit our adventure. The bad news, like your knuckles, is that fear is going to be with you your whole life long. The good news is that you do not need to allow fear to be the most important and forceful part of your life. You can face it. You can ask others who are strong, like the Maguire family and everyone at your table, to know your fears and to help you overcome them so that you can live a bold life. And when you face your fears, wonder and beauty can take hold. Here's the risk. Take the index card. On the one side, write down your most audacious dream for the difference you want to make in the world. And on the flip side, write the fear that is holding you back. And then fold it, give it to the Maguire table before you leave, and allow the thousands of Philadelphians who come to Broad Street Ministry to lift your hopes and dreams for what could be new in the world and the things that are holding you back. Allow others to carry your fears and your dreams with you and for you into the future. Amen? Amen. Author of life, author of possibility, author of dreams, help us in this hour to take stock of all the ways in which you have been moving us toward this moment that is pregnant with possibility and with dreams for a better future. We ask that you would today, as you have in the past, give us everything we need to be the people that you had in mind since the time we were born. Give us company for the journey and friendship for our journey. Allow this food to nurture us and nourish us and strengthen us for our journey. Keep us mindful of the hands that prepared it. Keep us awake to the earth that brought it forth. And strengthen us to serve those who are forced to go without. Bless this meal and this occasion. Amen.
First, we have Leah Boyd from Philadelphia University. Then we will have Vincent Galasso, who is graduating this year as a senior in Temple University's Risk Management and Insurance program. And then we will have April Jacobs from Gallaudet University.
Hello, everyone. My name is Leah Boyd, as you stated. Oh, too often we hear that the road to success is not an easy one. Well, James J. Maguire has offered us 6 steps to help us along that road. My life has never been that easy. When I was 14 years old, I was diagnosed with leukemia. That was one of the most defining moments in my life, but not for the reasons one may think. Throughout the 6 months I spent in Children's Hospital of Philadelphia, undergoing multiple rounds of chemotherapy, I found myself, and I found my calling. I knew that my life had to be filled with my passion and my love. With the side effects of losing my hair, I found that focusing on art and fashion helped me make it through those trying times in my life, and as a result, developed into my passion and love. I first became familiar with Philadelphia University at the age of 17 when I was part of an organization entitled Uniquely You. Uniquely You helps empowers young girls in finding their unique identity and discover who they are. Philadelphia University hosted the Uniquely You Summit in 2013, and I immediately fell in love with the campus. Originally, my idea was to study chemistry in college. Someone suggested I close my eyes and imagine myself working as a chemist every day. It took a moment, but I decided that I would not be happy with this. They then asked me to close my eyes and imagine working as someone in the fashion industry. I then knew, without hesitation, that was my calling. My love for fashion definitely overshadowed my interest in chemistry. I am a Philadelphia native, so when I learned that Philadelphia University was one of the top schools for fashion merchandising and management in the country, that only solidified my choosing for college. My path to enlightenment was not an easy one. No, not by any means. I can tell you that my faith and my family helped me survive and thrive. To stay focused on this road to success, having people that encourage and motivate you means so much. Being in college and being away from my support system has been difficult. As Mr. Maguire says, surround yourself with winners in your business and your personal life. Your greatest power is the power to choose. Making the choice to cut negative influences out of my life has not been an easy one. However, with a change of heart and a change of company, I realized that this saying is oh so true. I have been given such a blessing here at Philadelphia University. I have been given the opportunity to live, not just exist, but to live in my passions for art and fashion. I have been given the chance to gain the knowledge needed to become the woman I so desperately want to be. A woman with a career who helps people find their identity through the clothes that they wear. For this reason, I would sincerely like to thank you, Mr. and Mrs. Maguire, and your family for believing in my dreams and allowing me to become one step closer to achieving my success. It has been an honor. Thank you.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Vince Galasso, and I am a risk management and insurance and accounting major at Temple University. As Amy said, I will be graduating in May, and I have the Maguire Foundation to thank for the financial assistance over these past 2 years to make this possible. I was asked to identify one of Mr. Maguire's 6 steps to success that I felt resonated with my life the closest. Of the 6, I chose show up every day, set goals, and have dreams. Success is a marathon. I chose this because, up to this point, I have set several goals along the way to graduating for college, such as maintaining a strong GPA, winning scholarships, getting an internship, and acquiring full-time employment before graduation. In the moment, I felt satisfied with achievement of each of these milestones along the way. However, quickly after achieving one of these goals, I realized it was time to shift my attention onto the next. I learned to always keep moving forward from watching my mom and dad work as hard as they did over the years, and of course from Rocky, because we all know once you become too satisfied with your accomplishments, you end up getting knocked out by Mr. T, and I certainly was trying to avoid that. For example, after graduation, I'll be working on finishing my Certified Employee Benefits Specialist designation and also working on a CPA. Next, I'll be working towards promotions and further education, such as an MBA. Even further ahead, there's continuing education credits and so on. It just never stops. So there is no doubt that in order to be successful, one must constantly set goals, and that success is truly a marathon. In fact, I think I'm a little exhausted just talking about it all. Thank you, and thank the Maguire Foundation again for everything you've done to help me.
Hello, my name is April Jacobs. I'm from Gadsden, South Carolina, and I'm presently a junior at Gallaudet University, majoring in social work. I do believe that you need to be passionate and positive about your goals in life. And after graduation, I hope to work with deaf people in the community setting. I'd also like to continue the work that I started with a nonprofit organization I founded called Black Deaf Women's Programs. This provides resources to the deaf community, so I know what I want to do, because actually I've already been doing some of it right now, and because I believe it's an important contribution to make. Now, there are many distractions, and there are many obstacles that I have to face before I get there. But from being active and engaged in my classes to more efficiently managing my time and prioritizing the activities that I'm involved with, sometimes it's challenging, but I do it anyway. In the past, I've volunteered at the public library and I've ministered to deaf women. I've also been involved in theater at Gallaudet University, and I am a member of the National Honor Society of Theater, as well as some professional organizations in my field. But all of these activities and these priorities contribute to my bigger dream, and that is to make a difference in others' lives. They enrich me, and they give me experiences that I know I will need in the future. And they help make me even better, and I'll be a better social worker one day when I'm working with deaf people. As a Black deaf woman, I have many reasons to set examples for others and to show the world what I can do. And this would not be possible without passion encouraging me all the way. So the quote that I like, and look right up here at the podium, that's the one I picked, which is quite ironic, but you must believe what you are and become what you believe. Because I believe in the ability to make positive change. That influences who I am and makes things happen, I believe, because I have confidence. So, quote, be passionate and positive about your dreams. If you don't love it, you'll never make it. That's a lesson that I hold true to me in mind, heart, soul, and spirit. That keeps me going, that passion. I believe it's a gift, and I believe I have a purpose here on earth to make a difference. Thank you, everyone, and thank you, the Maguire Foundation, for supporting me and giving me that financial support.
Thank you to all the students. All of your stories have been so inspiring to all of us. Today has been filled with so many amazing stories. And before we say goodbye, we want to thank you again for being here, but we want to share a very special story from a very impressive young man, my nephew, Patrick Maguire McKeon. Patrick reflects my parents' values and principles by the way he lives his life every day. He has a very compelling, very personal story. Because of his tremendous discipline and passion for what he believes in, today he is a very successful St. Joseph's University College graduate. He is a determined world-class athlete. Actually, he's ranked in the top 5 in the world, and he is a dedicated, responsible, spiritual person. It gives me great pleasure to introduce Patrick Maguire McKeon to the podium.
Thank you so much. Good afternoon, and thank you for having me. I'm truly honored to be here speaking on behalf of the Maguire Foundation. Congratulations to all of our Maguire scholars. You should be very proud of yourselves. Hopefully this opportunity will be the start of a new chapter for you. And hopefully all of you will learn to believe in yourself the way the Maguire Foundation does, the way your family, friends, loved ones, and teachers all believe in you. I want to share with you today a little bit of my personal life. When I was a young person like you, I struggled early on. During high school, my academics were indescribably poor. My behavior inside and outside of the classroom caused my family and I a lot of heartache. As a young teenager, I stood out in sports. I was so competitive, parents used to ask my mom if I was even having fun. And the truth is, probably not, unless we were winning and I was the reason why. I was so passionate about sports as a young person, it was really the only place I found I was 100% focused, because I loved it. Through my high school years, I lost touch with the desire for competitive sport, and eventually I was kicked off all the teams. This had a big impact on me, because growing up I only had one dream, and that was becoming a professional athlete one day. I started to feel like my dreams were dead, and I had no foundation to achieve my goals. Through the efforts of my family, I managed to barely get into college, where I completely lost my way. I started drinking and using drugs. I didn't study, and I failed out my freshman year. I took 10 classes. I walked away with 0 credits. I was 19 years old, and drugs and alcohol were consuming my life. I had no hope. I had lost all belief in myself. I was out of school, I had no friends, I had no job, no confidence, no goals, no passion, and no will to achieve. I had no life, I felt all alone. I saw nothing in myself but failure. 6 years ago, I hit rock bottom, emotionally, mentally, and physically. I realize now that the only real adversity I was facing was my own fear. After digging myself into such a deep hole, I gave up. I threw away the shovel and I checked into an alcohol and drug rehab center, and I turned my life over to God and my mom. Gradually over the next year, I began to realize that I wasn't a bum. I know my new life today is why my grandfather asked me to speak. I recently graduated from St. Joseph's University with a bachelor's degree of science. I am ranked as one of the top 5 amateur triathletes in the world, and I'm also on the brink of becoming a professional triathlete and fulfilling my lifelong dream of being a pro athlete, which is amazing. God gave me a new opportunity, a second chance, and I took advantage of it. Along the way, I discovered my talents, I began to believe in myself, and I made a decision to live the core values of the Maguire Foundation: preparation, passion, integrity, discipline, responsibility, and balance. Today, this is an everyday part of my life. On October 11th, 2014, I competed in the Hawaii Ironman World Championships. It's a 2.5-mile swim in the Pacific Ocean, a 112-mile bike ride through winds up to 40 miles per hour, and a marathon of 26.2 miles through lava fields of Kona, Hawaii. My dream is to win this race one day, because as my grandfather has said many times, if you believe what you are, you can become what you believe. Each one of us has a special talent. We all have our own light that shines inside us. God gives us a life filled with opportunities, as he did for me, to let that light shine on the world around us. If you do nothing else, as college students, use this educational opportunity to discover who you are. Find your talent and passion through education and use it to become tomorrow's leaders. Hopefully my story can be an example to you that anything is possible. Follow your dreams, commit to hard work, and remember the race in life is not always to the swift, but to those that keep on running. Thank you very much. Thank you, Papa, for allowing me to speak today. I really am honored to be here. Thank you.
Okay, one more speech. No, just kidding, actually. But thank you for listening to all of our speeches today and all of our stories, and thank you for being here. You really are why we do what we do every day. And we love you. We love all of you students so much. And hearing your stories just make us want to work harder and do more for more students. So thank you so much. This is the conclusion of our program. And on the way out, we invite all the students to take a backpack that we have for them, a Maguire Scholars backpack, and enjoy your day. Thank you very much.